Shout, big back like the anytime she turn around, she got me over. I see the back, I know the doubt. The headlight, the steady flash. Wanna give me that, kiss cut. You turn me into a love. I say, wait, you must become my lady. Oh yeah, you drive me crazy. Yeah, I can't explain this feeling. Yeah, my Soweto, baby.
Let me pass off my lover. The way you shaking your ass, baby girl, you give me fire. Girl, your body gets fire. Girl, you give me the fire. Girl, your body gets fire. Let me pass off my lover. The way you shaking your ass, baby girl, you give me fire. Girl, your body gets fire. Girl, you give me fire. Girl, your body gets fire. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ má ṣe rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ ní oyún ní ìdọ̀ ọmọkọ́mọ ní ilé lára. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ má ṣe rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ ní oyún ní ìdọ̀ ọmọkọ́mọ ní ilé lára. Èmi àti ẹ ìwà tèmi ó lè tó Nàìjíríà ṣe ẹ̀rẹ́ àmúrasí. Èmi àti ẹ ìwà tèmi ó lè tó Nàìjíríà ṣe ẹ̀jẹ̀ àmúrasí. Mi ò níbi tó dàbí ìlú yóò Nàìjà mélé gbàgbé ìlú yóò Nàìjà lòdù kó dàbí ilé o Nàìjà ilé bá mi ìdí o Nàìjà ẹpẹlẹmẹyẹ ìjọre ẹpẹlẹmẹyẹ ìjọre. Wọ́n ní wọ́n wá mi. Omi náà rẹ̀ is one. Shawty go low. Make that man wanna spend that dough. Shawty go low. Love it when you take that booty to flow. And when you go low. The only thing that I really wanna know is when we gon' go. When we gon' go. Shawty go low. Make that man wanna spend that dough. Shawty go low. Love it when you take that booty to flow. And when you go low. The only thing that I really wanna know is when we gon' go. When we gon' go. I got something to remind you. Tell me one day I'm a machine and my God will find you. It's not my fault. Let's get up by the door. This what you want to do. Put yourself on my shoe. You are by one here. You are by one sorrow. You are the one. You are by one. I can't see by one. Can't see by one. You are by one here. You are by one sorrow. You know what's that woman? Look at that boy. When I don't come back, my God, I get back to my Only a while like that. Only a while lamba while over and them. Only what? Satino need me. LOD. Oh, travel a shading. I show for toy. I show left people. Oh, for toy. I show left people. I show for toy. I show left people. Oh, for toy. I show left people. Almost suck away. Only suck away. To the club, go to the club, take you away. Cameo, I do give away. All my say, all I do is to give it away. Okay.
AbengNationMusic.com.
Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like. Look like you. I don't wanna look like you. Look like you. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. In the bando, look like you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Blessing.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm tired, very tired, but I'm fine.
Sorry?
I said I'm very tired, but I'm fine.
Sorry to hear that.
It's
Did you have
okay.
a busy day?
It's been a crazy week, but I'm fine.
Right. Okay. We just um hoping more people join soon. Um, so I'm just going to
I
introduce you
think we
now.
can
Do you
go
want to
on
wait
so we
for
don't
more people? Are
disrespect the
you
people
are
who
you
are
happy to
early.
start now?
Oh, I was saying that we could just go on so that we don't disrespect the people who
Okay.
bothered to show up early.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to do just a mini introduction of you, just so people understand what you do and what we're going to do today.
Thank you.
So, okay, so Blessing is really passionate about catalyzing your growth through brand and business comms, and she helps you find uh, the value you offer and helps you communicate it, which is one of the things she's going to do today, helping you turn your passion to profit. She loves to leave. I think this is my favorite quote on your Disha page. She loves to leave our environment and the people she meets better than she met them, which I think is really cool. So just know that tonight you're going to live a little better than you were. You can check our Disha page to join our Telegram group to get our letters. I get our letters. Seriously, you don't want to miss those. And of course, the best one, I think, the second best one, the letters is the best. And the second best one, which is the audience discovery workbook. So now we're going to listen to Blessing to learn how to turn our passion to profit. So if you like money, just stick with us till the end, okay? Over to you, Blessing.
Thank you very much for that brilliant introduction, Precious. So I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. Hopefully, you can get as much value in the next 30 minutes. And I hope you can ask questions that will help us, unfold more concepts. So first things first, I'm going to share just five important things that I feel like if you know those five things, you have a great and solid foundation to start. So first thing, not every passion needs to be turned into profit. Now, why am I saying this? I know that I'm supposed to be teaching you about passion into profit, but if I don't tell you this, I would be lying to you or I wouldn't be telling you the whole truth. Not all of your passions should be turned to profit. Not every talent should be monetized. So when I'm not tired, I can dance, I can move my body. If you want to confirm if that's true or not, you can go to my Instagram page. Um, and there are a couple of things I like to do too. I'm sure I sing in the shower as well. I like to eat food. Sometimes I like to make food and experiment with food. I have a lot of things that I like to do. The things I'm also very passionate about. Maybe I like talking. I like talking to people. Now,
While I like doing all these amazing things, it's not mentally smart to now say every single thing has to be my money maker. Like I cannot be like I want to be a dancer, a I still do my branding, my communications. Then still like I like to connect people too. So maybe I'll become a sales manager and a marketer and like 1 million things that I can do because monetize my passion. No, some passions are supposed to be catalysts for other passions. What do I mean? So, as I told you earlier, I can dance, but that doesn't mean that, I have to now dance and make money from it. What I now decide to do instead of just focusing on dancing is once in a while, when I'm teaching the important things that I'm teaching, I just dance so you can see my personality and connect with me on a deeper level. Now, while the dancing is not giving me money directly, it is helping the people who give me money connect to me better. Another good example is the dancing doctor. You can Google that. There's a particular doctor in the US who is popular for being the dancing doctor. So his main job is to be a doctor. But he dances to make people feel better because he knows that people with positive vibes are more likely to recover. It helps the recovery process. And so people sometimes like him and some people don't like him. But the main point is he uses his dancing to catalyze his medicine. So he's able to tell people like, oh, I'm fun. People can relate to him, but it also makes him a great doctor, especially for kids and like young people. People really love him. Now that's out of the way, and now that you know that, let's now go into the four other important things. So the very first thing you have to know is that no matter how amazing you are, in fact, let's start from this number one, know yourself. So I would think you would wonder like, why is knowing myself important to turning my passion into profit? You need to know what your capacities are. What is your capability? What makes you tick? What makes you happy? What gives you joy? What doesn't give you joy? Sometimes sit with yourself and ask questions. A lot of people don't, like, we spend so much time busy with the world that we don't really sit with ourselves and look deep down to say, who exactly are we? Like, why do you do what you do? What makes you happy? Why are you trying to earn money? What do you want to make money for? What are your goals? Understanding who you are is fundamental. It helps you reduce the competition mindset where you're now competing with everybody else. If you know that you're not very like ambitious, there's no need to stress yourself. Just do the things that are within your comfort zone. But if you're very, very ambitious, there's no need to settle, knowing fully well that you will not be happy. If you are fun, there's no need to dim your lights for other people. Sitting down with yourself helps you realize your personality, helps you even pay attention to who you should be looking up to and who you shouldn't really care about. It also helps you with what's it called now? It also helps you with your mind, with your expectations. It helps you not compare yourself unnecessarily with people. When you know yourself, you are self-aware. You know that if I do 10 things at the same time, I will just shut down. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do one, I should focus on one goal a month, and that way I'll be able to achieve my goal. So one of the things I found that really helps a lot of my clients when I give them the self-awareness, I have a self-awareness workbook. But another thing that I know that helps them is the 16 personalities test, 16personalities.com. So you can go to it, check it out, take the test and be as honest as possible and see the feedback that you get. What are you like? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why are those things your weaknesses? And what are you doing to, improve them? Reach out to a couple of friends and ask them, tell me five adjectives. How would you describe me? And see how they react. You never really know, You don't know. You don't know if like what you're doing that you do you get what I mean? Like you can say this is who I am, but then sometimes you also need to see yourself from other people's perspective. And if it's consistent amongst 5 people or 4 people or even 3 people, you need to just check it out and be like, okay, is this really a vibe that I gave, right? In that self-awareness process, you would then be able to find out what you like and what you need. Moving on from knowing yourself, the next thing you want to do is know the value that you can offer. And how can you know this thing? So now you've gone through your passion, you figured out, oh, these are the things that I'm good at, these are the things that I actually know, these are the things that I can actually teach, this is something that I love. And please try not to short sell yourself. Try not to be like, oh, it's not that important, it's not that great. Don't do that to yourself. Don't talk yourself down. When you know what you can offer, reason why I am a big advocate for not talking yourself down is one day I Googled, I don't even know what I was looking for. And I found out that people are cashing out. An egg video, how to boil egg, had 9 million views. How to boil egg. Like, who doesn't know how to boil eggs? But what, how to boil egg had 9 million views. How to turn on your computer, there's a guide for it on the internet. And there's so many like very weird things, like how to cook egg, how to fry egg. The people who don't know that. If people don't know those things and people are making content out of it, what exactly is your excuse? Like, what do you feel is not good enough that you know? Because what you think you know, that you feel like you sometimes may overestimate what you think people don't know, and you underestimate what you know. So you need to, put yourself together and not take anything you know for granted. Always like be willing to share the knowledge that you have, the ideas that you have, and think about those passions that I say I have. Do I have the knowledge to back it up? And the if you don't have the knowledge, do something about it, educate yourself, grow better. It would also help you with imposter syndromes. I mean, if you spend God knows how many thousands of dollars or naira going to a school, or time, if you spend invested time learning a course, nobody's going to walk up to you one day and tell you that you don't know the course. Like, imagine going through school 4 years of your life and then you graduate with your BSc and then you're having imposter syndrome about if you are a chemical engineer or a doctor or a I don't know how many years. Okay, doctors spend like 7 years. Or if you start having imposter syndrome about like if you're an accountant, or those things don't necessarily happen often, I don't know if you've noticed. And that often comes from the confidence of I have gone to school for this thing, so therefore I know it. So if you can back up your passion with knowledge, it helps. Even helps more if you can back it up with a little bit of experience, because track record is super important for you to be able to turn your passion into profit. So I've told you to know yourself. Next thing you want to do is know the value that you offer. And knowing the value that you offer often comes from knowing like your passions, your knowledge, the needs and gaps that exist, and then how you think you can fill them. Things like that, those kind of information help you discover what value you want to offer. Again, don't overestimate and don't underestimate yourself. um Other thing you want to keep at the back of your mind is something that I notice a lot of people do. So now that you're trying to figure out what value do you have to offer, so people just feel like immediately go and find your niche. And I don't really think so. I think that niching shouldn't be like the first step if you're new in the industry. If you're new in an industry, if you're new, if you're just graduating, if you're 20 something, but you're 20 something, right? And if you're 20 something, this is like the time for you to explore and test out different things and get to know yourself better. So don't just be like, oh, I need to niche now. Don't just niche now. Try your hands on a couple of things and see what you're good at, what you like. Because again, self-discovery is like filtering. You can't filter air. Like, well, you can filter air, but you can't filter nothing. You can just stand be like, I want to filter nothing. No, you can't do that. There has to be content for you to filter. In fact, there has to be at least two components for you to separate one from the other. So if you don't have things to filter, it's just empty. You can't just niche from the sky or from the cloud. You need to have a couple of things that you are niching from. Niching is literally like a filtering process. It's like a funnel. If you're pouring something into a funnel, it tries to help you, pick which one matters versus which one is important. If you're filtering with what they call that thing, a filter funnel, where you put like a cone paper and everything, it separates one thing from the other. So if there are no at least more than two things, if you don't have at least two things that you are good at or passionate about, what are you really niching? So you need to explore, experience things, and try to find out things for yourself. Get to know yourself a little better. Get to know like what you're good at. Try your hands on things, and then make a decision to say, just give yourself 2 years or a year, to try things out, and then make a decision. Say, okay, I like this one. No, I don't like this one. I like this industry. No, I don't like this industry. Right? So that is one great way to know the value that you have to offer. I also have a workbook for that, a value workbook that I think helps a lot of people through like the process of discovering what they have to offer. The next thing you want to do is know the people. Know your person, actually, your person, not the people. I'm not an advocate for having 10,000 followers or 5,000 followers or 1 million customers just like that. I feel like we need to do better with our expectations, especially when we're using followers to measure our impact. That sucks. Don't do that to yourself. What I've come to notice is that we're the best for someone and not necessarily the best for everybody. In fact, you can never be the best thing for everybody. Once you even start saying that my target market is everybody, you're already on the path of, let's say, not growth. Let's not call it failure. It's like on the path of suffering. Yeah, you're on the path for suffering. So you need to, you can't be the best for everybody. You need to understand that you're the best for someone. I'm not great for everybody. Like the things that I have to offer is not for everybody. Remember the dancing doctor I told you about, the doctor who dances? That doctor, that doctor I was telling you about who dances, that doctor, a couple of people don't like him. A lot of people, in fact, they tell him, you can't treat me, you're not serious. And that's fine. However, there are people who love him. And that's fine as well. Just like life. Not everybody likes you. And it's okay. Embrace it. You're not for everybody. And that's what makes you special. So figure out who is your person, who is the person that you are meant for, and focus on that person. Seth Godin refers to it as your unique, your smallest viable audience, right? Find the smallest group of people that you can impact. The beautiful thing about the smallest group of people that you can impact is this: you can connect better with them. You can, do more personalized things. You can experiment. You can engage. I miss having very little followers, because when I had very little followers, like about 2,000 or 1,000, I almost knew everybody. We could just, it was a safe space. We could just, connect. No unnecessary pressure. You just, and you can check on each other. They know you, you know them, you're great. But now that the community is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I don't know everybody. And guess what? Sometimes people even unfollow me. Like 200 people follow me in a week. 200 people unfollow me in a week, right? And if 200 people unfollow me, it's because I'm no longer the best for them. I was the best one time, but now I'm no longer the best for them. And so they're going to seek more interesting things or more interesting people. And that's fine. You need to be okay with that. So your clients won't always be with you. Think about yourself. The things that you like are not necessarily the things that your best friend likes. The things that you like are not necessarily like what you liked when you were 10 is probably not what you like now. The kind of house you dreamed about when you were 12 is probably not what you're dreaming about now. Different strokes, different folks, and get comfortable with that. So find your person, find the person that you think you can offer the most value to, find the person that you think needs. In fact, this is my blueprint for finding your person. Does the person need it? Is the person willing and able to pay for it? Can the person pay for it again? Now, listen to everything I said. Does the person need it? Need it as in the problem that you're solving, the problem you've decided that this is the problem I'm going to solve. Mm. The person you are saying you're targeting, do they need it? Need it as in, it's not a nice to have, it's something they actually want, right? Are they able and willing to pay for it? Now, Dangote is able and willing to pay for pure water. No, sorry, Dangote is able to pay for pure water, but he's not willing to pay for pure water because it doesn't reflect his class. He doesn't even trust it. And at the end of the day, the way you make profit from your passion is by building trust between yourself and your person. So if you don't build trust between yourself and your person, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any profit. You're not going to make any sale. You're not going to make revenue. Trust is important, right? And so I've explained now that you need to make sure that the person needs it, is willing and is able to pay for it, and then can pay for it again. So don't just have those beliefs in your head that everybody has to be a one-time customer. The best kind of customers are repeat customers, and the only way to keep them is trust. And trust means everything you promise, you must keep it. So if you say this is the value I'm going to offer to you, like for example, I'm here now, for example, I probably promised that I was going to show up here today. And I've showed up, I'm here. So I have fulfilled my promise. But if this was a service, I was saying, you guys pay me for this and I'm going to show up and I don't show up, I have hurt your trust. In fact, I see that this is a problem that a lot of people do. You don't sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what would I do if I was in this situation? Think about how you react with your banks. When you send money and the money doesn't go to where you sent it, you get furious, you're angry, especially if they didn't communicate to you. Like, imagine if your bank calls you every time there's an issue, like, hello, Bolu, so sorry about this, and I hope you can get with us. Maybe it's probably down and it will be down for the next 3 hours, but it'll be back up in the next 3 hours. And if in 3 hours it's back, you just love your bank a little more. You just trust them. You might be angry for a bit, but you're like, at least they told me. Unlike when they don't tell you anything. And also, that's another problem with not having like a niche close group of people, right? So we've talked about knowing yourself, we've talked about knowing the value that you can offer, and we've talked about knowing your person. Now you need to know your worth. That's how you make profits from that's how you make profits from your passion. You need to know your worth. And a part of knowing your worth is also negotiation, right? What do you think you're worth? And how do you even define what you're worth? Sometimes you might not know. So what you can do is do industry research. What is attainable in the market? What kind of people are offering things on the scale that you're offering? What is your unique selling point over those people? What's the value that you have to offer over those people? And then if you know all those things already, you can now say, okay, based on all of these things that I have seen, I think this is a perfect price point. You ask your customers as well. I notice that people sit on their chairs and they're like, oh, I know my customer. And when I say customer, please, I'm also referring to your employers, because think about it, in the career world, your client is your employer. Your employer is your client, and your skills are the product slash service that you're selling, and your salary is the profit you're probably making. That's the revenue, that's the money you're getting paid. So you're getting paid for your skills, and your employer needs your service, and you're giving that service. So sometimes, just sit back and see yourself as a business, as an individual, like you are a business. And don't feel like, oh, you're doing your employer a favor because you're just doing the work for him, blah, blah, blah. No, when you start seeing yourself as the business, as the brand, you stop feeling like you're doing your employer a favor. You realize that everything you're doing is for yourself, because tomorrow when you go out, you'll be able to say, these are the things I did. This is part of my track record. And we can always confirm it. We can see the impact of your work. So know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. When you know your worth, it gives you more strength to negotiate. And negotiating means when people come and they're like, oh, we can get it cheaper somewhere else. You're comfortable with them saying, you're comfortable enough to say, I feel bad that you feel this way. However, this is the worth of the service that I am offering to you. And I think that if we do it like this is the results you can get compared to this. However, for you to gain more trust in us, this is what we're willing to do in exchange, or pay us a certain amount, and then everything else, if you're not willing to pay the amount we're asking you for, would be based on commission. If you're like, and then don't really dumb your price down for anybody. Knowing your worth also means that you shouldn't always dumb your price down. Like, sometimes know when to do it and when not to do it if necessary. And if you're ever doing it, state that this is a 50, like write your actual price and say this is a 50% discount, or this is a, do you get what I mean? Don't just like be like you're not doing and you just walk away. No. Don't work for free, work for value. Don't just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, let me just give my service for free to everybody. Take it, you get a service, you get a service, you also get a service. Don't do that. Only give your services for value and not for free. What does value mean? Value doesn't mean money all the time. Sometimes value could be money, sometimes value could be exposure, sometimes value could be, connection, it could be relationship. You know what's valuable to you. If somebody reaches out to you and says, hi, Blessing, I want so and so, you can then say, oh great, I like what you're offering and I'm willing to do it. And you give your best because you know that what you're getting out of it is equal measure to if you had been paid for it. What do I mean? If Dangote reaches out to me now and says, Blessing, come and do my brand, or if I reach out to Dangote and say, I want to do your brand thingy for you, help you figure out your image. I may not ask for money, may not. However, maybe at that point in time, value to me might be, I just want a relationship with you. Like, I just want a good relationship with you, and that's the payment you're going to give me. In my head, maybe the relationship is in equal measure to the amount that I am trying to ask for. Don't let other people's opinion define what is valuable to you, because what's valuable to me might not be valuable to you. I might cherish a relationship with Dangote and you might not. I might cherish the money more than a relationship with Dangote and you might not. So don't let other people's idea of value, influence your decisions about what you want to offer or what you want in exchange and things like that. Um, yeah, so like those are the key things I think can help you. But the most important tip that I am going to give you today is start. The only way you can profit from your passion is by starting. You can't profit from your passion by sleeping or putting it in your dream. Truth is, dreamers are not the ones who change the world. If you're a dreamer but you don't take action, nothing for you. So be a doer. Like take action. Don't just be that person who romanticizes ideas in their brain, like you just be romancing your idea, like, oh, you be thinking about it and it's making you happy. Don't be that person. Actually take action. The person who is doing something every day is more likely to succeed than the person who is just dreaming about it. So start, start, start. So please, are there any questions for me? Feel free to ask me. I'm here for you. Precious, are you there?
Yes. Hi. Oh, just a second.
Hi.
It's just clearer with the lights. Okay. So thank you. I'm sure everyone has learned a lot. Please make sure you are taking a screenshot and tagging Blessing and Twenties Tribe. Post it on your story, post it on WhatsApp, Twitter, wherever you are.
Aw.
And if you have a question, please put it in the comment section below. Okay. So are you ready to take questions now? Okay.
Yeah,
So I
quickly.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions while we wait for people to. Let me just scan through and make sure people haven't asked any question.
Sure.
Okay, there is none yet. Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask my question. So, in the 2020s Tribe Book Club, we're reading a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep. And one of the things he mentioned is just
Oh, you're not
not
allowed to
putting.
say it. You're not allowed to
I
say the
just
F
feel
word.
weird saying it.
So when you
I
read the
feel
book, you're
weird
like
saying
the
it. So
subtle art of giving a bleep. Wow.
it's okay.
It's okay,
So
it's okay.
it's
I'm
not
not
that I
judging
don't
you.
swear at all.
It's
I just
okay, it's
find it really
okay.
hard
You
to
don't
say
have
it
to
in some
explain to me. It's
situation.
fine. I was teasing. I was teasing. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, okay. So one of the things that he mentioned was that we shouldn't put yourself in a box like, okay, because I'm this, I cannot do this. Because I'm nice, I cannot break up with my friend, so to speak. And one of the things you mentioned is like finding your personality, people, things that people find consistent with you. And so how do you not put yourself in a box while still understanding what your personality is?
Oh, so the beautiful thing about personality and branding, which I teach everybody all the time, is that as human beings, you're evolving. Who you were when you were 10 years old is not who you are when you're 12. And the beauty of self-awareness is that you are having a conversation with yourself every day, so much that you said you read my email. So there's a time I said, like, inner conversations are like a superpower, knowing that you're talking to yourself every day is a superpower. We do talk to ourselves, but mainly when we're insulting ourselves or repeating the evil words that people have used on us. But if we could just change that for a bit, and sometimes sit with yourself and ask, okay, this thing that I believe in, why do I believe in it? Why do I no longer believe in it? And accept who you are for yourself. That way, as you're changing, you're consistently aware of that change, and you're not necessarily putting yourself in a box, but you're evolving with the times, right? Your personality is not static. I've
Okay.
heard of people who were introverts 10 years ago, and they are now extroverts because they have decided to deliberately work on themselves because they weren't happy with being introverts, right? Because
Okay.
again, I say this all the time. If you are if you feel like you're an introvert and that's the reason why you don't sell yourself or talk about yourself or pitch yourself, think about it. How, like, if you had the cure for cancer, or if you had the cure for COVID, would it really matter that you're an introvert? You would bring yourself out of the box and you would help. It would not matter if you're an introvert. If you had biscuits and a small child was hungry beside you would do something about it. So remove like all those boxes that you put yourself in. define yourself by the why that you're currently in right now. Like you can define yourself by anything really. You could say, I want to define myself based on my why, like my purpose on earth. I want to define myself based on the things that I do. I want to define myself based on the things that I love. And those things evolve. So they evolve, update us, and tell us, oh, I no longer love this thing again. I used to love it, but I don't love it anymore. So one last word. Seth Godin used to love Apple. Like he would talk about the Apple product every day. In fact, he was one of the first testers for Apple. And I was super shocked when I interviewed him and he was just like, ah, I don't like Apple again. I don't like what they stand for anymore. And that takes a level of self-awareness. And so just be
Yeah.
aware as opposed to boxes.
Okay, thank you for that really insightful answer. So we have a question from Zim Simon. It says, what three books have has really had an impact on your life, relationships, and finances, Mrs. Blessing Abeng?
My dear. So because I am a book lover, I love to read a lot. A lot.
Mhm.
God, I love to read. But one of the most interesting books that I think I have ever read, in fact, I'm going to tell you my three top recent and maybe a little bit past. Let's do five,
Okay.
because three might be limiting. So let's do
Okay.
five. You asked for it. So number one would be Poke the Box by Seth Godin, where he kept talking about how to start, like how to use your instigation capital, your ability to start something and do something, not waiting for perfect
Yeah.
conditions. But if you see that something is not working in your office, go and do it. If it's not working in your business, go and do it. Don't sit down and complain. Do something. Start an idea,
Mm.
ship it. Don't just talk about it, right? That was a really amazing book for me. Year of Yes was also amazing. I don't know if you know Shonda Rhimes. I really like her because she talks the way I
Yeah.
think in my head. Like I can have three different conversations with myself, and that's how she writes as well. So I really love it. So if you watch How to Get Away with Murder, you know her. Year of Yes was literally
Yeah.
about her feeling like, all of us thought she had accomplished, but she didn't feel like she had accomplished because she was always in her house,
Mm.
hiding behind closed doors and doing stuff. But the minute she decided to say yes to more opportunities, say yes to more things, do more things, she was able to attract amazing things to herself. So Year of Yes is another amazing book that I really, really love. There's this
Yeah.
book by Seth Godin as well, which is about the art of starting and quitting. Oh God, I think if you Google the art of starting and quitting by Seth Godin,
Yeah.
you would probably find it. Yeah, that's another book that I really, really love that Seth Godin wrote. Steve Jobs. I love Steve Jobs' biography. I read it. It was
Okay.
amazing. And the final book that I think I should just mention is Find a Sponsor, Forget a Mentor. Now, this book was super important. I
Okay.
found it, I read it when I was a little younger, and it was really clear to me that we are over glamorizing the idea of having mentors. Like everybody wants anybody who is successful to be a mentor. It's like you meet Gary Vee today and it's like, oh, please, would you be my mentor? But you're not the only one asking Gary Vee to be the mentor, And Gary Vee cannot kill himself. He cannot say yes to everybody. If he makes mentorship his business, he won't be able to do all the amazing things that you like about him that he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And so it's like he has
Mhm.
to be Gary Vee before he can be anybody's mentor. Instead of doing all this mentorship stuff, why not just identify people who will not become gods in your life, but people who you feel like they are a spitting image, or not even spitting image, people who do particular things that you like. Right? You can't like everything. I like Ellen, but I don't like everything about Ellen. I love Obama a lot. But I can't like everything that Obama does. So I just pick the things that matter to me. I listen to their
Mhm.
podcasts, their videos, their interviews, because most of the questions I probably want to ask, somebody has asked it already and he has answered it. So just go look for that. Except you're
Yeah.
looking for fame and you want to just chingon people and you're looking for an excuse to not do stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Forget a Mentor, Find a Sponsor was a good book. And extra, the one that
Okay.
helped with my finances, Clever Girls Finance book, and what's her name? And Smart Money RSS, two books. I really read those and they were interesting, so they helped.
Okay. So, do you not read any fiction before we go to our next question?
Oh, I do. I read fiction. I read fiction.
Okay,
Like
give us
Chimamanda
two
is
or
one of my
three
favorite
fictions.
African writers. So
This is
every book that
Chimamanda right
Chimamanda,
here.
are you serious? Every book that Chimamanda has ever written, I have read it. So I really like her writing style. I like how she talks about serious issues in her book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with everything she does, but I really like Chimamanda and her writing style. Another person who I think I really love. I mean, oh God, there are a couple, there are plenty, but who do I choose? Who do I choose? Can you just take Chimamanda first? Take Chimamanda. I've read all of Chinua
Okay.
Achebe's books
Okay.
as well. I've read all of Wole Soyinka's
Okay.
books. Like I love African writers.
Okay. Okay, cool. Maybe at the end of today, you tell us what you don't agree with Chimamanda.
Oh, sure. If you ask me at the end of today, I would willingly tell you.
Okay.
And people might kill me,
Okay.
but we will all be fine.
Okay. Okay. So this question is from Sir Bolu Six. He said, as a young creator still living under your parents and guardian, how do you strike a balance between doing the things you love consistently while still while staying obedient to your parents?
Okay. So I feel like, so funny thing is, I don't know why and how, but all these questions always find me, like questions about family and being a young creator,
Mm,
and explaining things. They always find me, and I'm
yeah.
consistently answering them, right? Maybe I should start writing about them as well.
Maybe this is a sign.
So key things I've noticed is just like branding, it's a sign, but just like branding and business, think of your parents as a target audience. And for you to truly, truly understand them, you need to understand where they're coming from. What is their thought process for you? No family or guardian wants you to not succeed. They're not witches and wizards. They don't want you to fail. The only reason why they're so hard on you and they're telling you, oh, this thing you're doing does not make sense, it's because they don't want you to fail. Truth is, a lot of people want to be musicians, but in the music world, only like 1%, if 0.1% of musicians make it, only
Mm,
0.1. How many people would ever become Wizkids? But if you become a doctor, at least bad as it bad, you get good salary. Right? So you need to first think about things from their perspective and understand where they're coming from. That it is from a place of love. It is from a place of like, we just want the best for you. We want your life to be better. We don't want you to just be hanging by a thread. Because to be honest, think about it. Social media is fickle. Social media is very, very fickle. There is no proof, like there's no promise that all of us are going to get 100,000 followers. There's no even promise that when you have the 100,000 followers, Instagram will not change their algorithm and your 100,000 followers will be worth nothing. There's also no promise that if you have 100,000 followers, you make money from it, right? And you have to
mhm,
understand first. That's the first step. Understand where they're coming from. And once you do, also understand that nobody cares about your plans. I don't care about your plans. Your employer does not care about your plans. Your parents may care about your plans, but what they really, really care about most is results. And if since Basket Mouth was young, Basket Mouth, that was like a couple of years ago when he was doing Crack Your Ribs, was young and he was complaining that his father did not understand what he was doing as a comedian. And till now, we're still complaining that some of our parents don't understand what we're doing. It tells you that there is like a pattern. How things worked for them is not how things
mhm.
work right now, but it's difficult for them to wrap their head around it. And they're also going to make the same mistake as well, right? So keep an open mind and be more focused on results. If you want to have an intelligent and more so if you want to have a more proactive conversation with your family, what you can then do instead is reach out to your family. What you can then do instead is reach out to your family members and say, okay, I understand that this is what you want for me.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please? Your line
However,
breaks
let's
up
reach a
throughout that
compromise.
part.
What was the
So
last
your
thing
line
you?
was breaking and we didn't. So you were talking about what to do, and then everything just was just breaking
Okay,
from
so
there.
what I was saying, okay, what I was saying was, once you've already understood that this is what your parents want for you, and this is where you are, this is where they're coming from, understanding that what worked for them was you have to go to school, get a job. Once you have a civil service job, government is going to give you house and car, and like you at least get the salary that you can then take loans from. But that's what worked for them, and they don't want you to fail. They don't want you to come and waste their money either. So once you have that in your mind and you understand that it's success they want for you, give yourself an ultimatum. Tell them, okay, daddy, I understand that this is what you want for me.
If it's something you can combine with your passion, go ahead. But if it's not something you can combine with your passion, say, Daddy, give me 2 years or give me 3 years. Let me prove myself to you, you know. Let me do this thing that I say I really like. I know you don't understand this, but let me do this thing that I say that I really, really like. And then, you know, as I do it, these are the results I think I'm going to get. If I don't get it, I'll do it your way. That way you put pressure on yourself to also deliver. Have you noticed that if you're on the news, or like Salem was talking about it the other day, when they were showing him on TV, his parents called the whole world. They said, come and see, oh, my son is doing this, 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 this. Me, I had to explain to my father that, Daddy, I'm a branding and communications manager. I'm not going to be a doctor. And he was like, branding. Like, what's branding? You know, I was branding better than the sojourn you were trying to be. And it was until they started showing me on newspapers, on TV, calling me for speaking events abroad. And I'd be like, oh, Daddy, I'm traveling to San Francisco. They paid for my flight. They paid me money. I'm going to speak. That's when my father now started telling his friends that, my daughter is a branding expert. You know, if you want branding, call my daughter. They just need bragging rights. And you just have to put yourself under good pressure to help them get those bragging rights. And that also ensures that you are held accountable to your word. I hope that helps you. If it doesn't, DM me. I'll
Yeah,
edit more.
that was very helpful. Okay. So the next question. Okay, so this question, I think we can do it at the end. What do you think about Twenties Tribe? There's a question that I want us to answer before we answer that one. Says that this one is from Michael John. What impact do you think social media has on this current generation in regards to life, relationship, and finances?
Okay, I just think, to be honest, this is something I talk about all the time as well. I think that there's nothing like in the internet in general, social media or not, all it has done for us is magnify or make what we do in our silos more obvious. Like people have always been self-absorbed since, you know, a long time ago. We carried, self-absorption in our minds and our hearts. That's how we've been. People have always done the things they've done in secret. It's just that now it's more exposed. Like the things you would have done and the newspaper would have had to carry, and we can see it in minutes. So it has just magnified everything. So sexuality, so they've always existed. Relationships, so they've always, people flaunting money, they've always existed. People wanting to take pictures and selfie and look beautiful and oppress their friends, always existed. We're just magnifying it now through social media. And I really think that it is, whatever you do on social media can sometimes be the reflection of who you are. As in, if you're lying and giving us a fake view, it means that that's a goal you have in your life, to oppress people and make it look like you are better than what you really are. You know, if you are
Yeah.
giving value, that means that that's how you are. You really care about giving value to people. If you are wicked and insulting people on social media, that's how you are. You know, and so just what I think social media has been able to do for us is help us be ourselves a little bit more behind the glass. You know, knowing fully well that we will not be attacked. How has it helped our finances? It has just increased the level of peer pressure, because now the activities of your peers are more visible to you, and then you now pressure yourself for no good reason. Relationship, same thing. But just as all these things have happened, there are opportunities. You can now have friends. You can now build friendships. I never thought that I would ever meet Seth Godin in real life, but I wanted to, but I never thought it would happen. But internet brought it to me, and I brought it for myself too. So it just gives you like more leeway to do more things. The things you could have thought of online, you can now physically do it with the help of social media. So don't slack on it. Don't, take advantage of it actually. And then for your finances, automate a lot of things so that you'll be able to use social media to your advantage. Sorry, I use my hands a lot, so just in case it's distracting. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. Okay, so I think we can go for the last question now, which is as a brand, it's still the same as the one I mentioned the other time. This is from Oladimeji Saka. As a
Mhm.
brand whiz, what do you think about Twenties Tribe as a community? Let me just add more,
I
like,
really
what do you
think.
think we can do more? It's in terms of like networking
Okay,
and
so
stuff.
I think that there is a big opportunity. The idea of any community is you are either bound by interest or similarities or goals or something. There has to be something that
Yeah.
binds you together. And I like the fact that, a couple of 20 something year olds are coming together to say, this is going to be our tribe and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're
Yeah.
going to achieve. I don't know what you can do better, but what I can say is connect with each other, build relationships. To be honest, a lot of us didn't know then that the reason for school was for network. It wasn't necessarily
Mhm.
for going to learn and graduate. It was actually for network. The reason why
I
people
didn't
pay
know that.
millions of dollars for Harvard, I mean millions of naira for Harvard, is because network. The network you're going to get in Harvard is not equal to the network you get
Mm.
in Covenant University. And that's really what makes the difference, because you have the potential to meet Bill Gates in Harvard, but you won't meet Bill Gates in a couple of schools down here. And so that's another thing that this community does for you. You have the ability to connect and meet people. I mean, some of you will probably never have met me if not for the tribe. So take advantage of
Yeah.
that. Don't underrate anybody. Don't wait till you need people before you start engaging with them. Take everybody seriously. Reach out to your peers, to know what's going on in their lives. Build connections beyond the internet. If you can meet up, meet up. That would be fun. And just keep inspiring each other to ensure that you all grow together, because people who grow together, nobody will be pulling anybody down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let me see. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. So do you have five? Do you think you can tell us what you don't like about from the things Chimamanda has said? Do you think you can tell us in five
Hey, no, no,
minutes?
no. It's not about what Chimamanda said. It's not at all about what Chimamanda said. I just have particular things that
Okay,
I don't
okay,
agree with, which doesn't mean that I don't like her. It just means that, I
okay.
mean, I really love her.
Yeah,
I legit love her and her work, but there are things that she says that I don't agree with.
yeah.
And if I know, at least what she has portrayed to us is that we should have a
Your line is breaking up again.
I'm supposed to have a call for 8:20, but it's fine. So
Oh,
individual we should
thank
have
you for
our
staying with us.
It's okay. Yeah. So one of the things she promotes is we should have our ability to individual thinking, right? You should be able to think for yourself and not just do like crowd mentality because everybody is saying this. That's the thing you
Hmm.
have to follow. So one of the things that I don't necessarily agree with is the concept of like what like the foundations of which, well, not the foundation, but what feminism has currently become. I feel like a lot of things that feminism currently is beyond just feminism. If people would just take
Your line is breaking up again.
yeah, so if can you see me now and hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, fine. So let's keep up with the hearing. So if people would take into
Okay.
cognizance the fact that if people would take into their minds that the key things that I think so, yes. So if people would take it into their minds to know that, love and respect are two key things that can totally change our society and be like beyond feminism, beyond classism, beyond all the isms that exist. I think it would
Yeah.
be a better place. I feel like feminism, I understand why, and I feel like it's not a conversation we can have in 5 minutes. But I just think that beyond feminism in general and how we're taking things, if we could educate people more on love and respect, that would be totally helpful. Like just I just think that both male, female, children, adults, and punish the people, I mean legally punish people who do not take those two things into cognizance, then the world might probably be a better place. Like this is a whole world conversation, but then that's an ideal world and I'm aware. And yeah, so there's still things that I don't necessarily agree with. I didn't also agree with the fact that she called out Hillary for having wife in her bio as the first thing, because we all have different things that matter to us. And sometimes a couple of feminists that I know, sometimes they don't take housewives as like they don't respect housewives enough because they think maybe they're doing something wrong or they are abolishing or they're insulting the grounds of feminism. But I think the beauty of feminism should be individualism and the ability for people to do whatever they want to do, on their terms. So yeah, those are like two key things. But aside that, we're good.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with that with us. They're very interesting points. And I just want to again remind people take screenshots of Blessing is not here again. But
I'm
please
here. Oh,
do
I'm here.
share.
I'm here. I'm
We
here.
can't see you, so we want people to take screenshots with your face and share with
Sorry,
people,
guys.
share with their friends. Thank you for everyone who has listened to this. But of course, you can go to YouTube and play back, take a screenshot, share with friends, share with family,
And of course, you can follow Blessing on Instagram. Um, any of you have seen the poster, of course, you can see our Instagram handle there. I don't know it off it, so I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Please
But please follow
Einstein
Twenties
it.
Tribe. Follow
NF underscore
Blessing.
Einstein it. But if they search for Blessing Abeng, they will be fine. They'll find
Okay, there you go. Thank you for saying that. And thank you
me.
everyone for coming. I'm sure you've all learned one thing or the other. When you're posting this, please post what you've learned and tag Blessing, tag Twenties Tribe, okay? Again, thank you for joining. Thank you everyone who has asked
All right,
questions.
thank you for having me. I have
And
to
I
go
hope you
now.
enjoy the
I'm
rest of
switching
your
space
night.
for my next meeting.
Thank you for doing
Bye.
this. Bye. Okay, that's the end of our live stream today. I hope you've learned one thing or the other. Again, share what you've learned, share with family and friends, tag Blessing, tag Twenties Tribe. And we'll see you some other time. Bye.
Shawty go low, 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 low. Yeah, man, wanna spend that dough. Shawty go low, 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 low. The way you take that booty to the floor. And when you go low, 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 low. The only thing that I really wanna know is where we gon' go, low, low, low. Where we gon' go, low, low, low. Shawty go low, 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 low. Yeah, man, wanna spend that dough. Shawty go low, 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 low. The way you take that booty to the floor. And when you go low, 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 low. The only thing that I really wanna know is where we gon' go, low, low, low. Where we gon' go, low, low, low. I got something to remind you. Let me one day I'm a machine, I might go find you. That's not my fault. That's the I find the door. This money what you do. Put yourself on my shoe. You are my one me. You are my one sorrow. You are the one me. You are my one. I can't keep my one. Can't keep my one. You are my one me. You are my one sorrow. You know say you are. What can I do that for? When I don't get my body, I get back to money.
Only a while like that. I don't know why being there. Only a while lamba. Lamba while over them. Only a while. Sati no need him. No need him. Ewodi. O travel a shedin. Aṣọ pọ̀tọ́ yìí. Aṣọ lẹ fi bò. Ó pọ̀tọ́ yìí. Aṣọ lẹ fi bò. Aṣọ pọ̀tọ́ yìí. Aṣọ lẹ fi bò. Ó pọ̀tọ́ yìí. Aṣọ lẹ fi bò. Ọmọ sọ́kàwé. Wọ́n ní sọ́kàwé. Go to the club, I'm a take away. Make me we are doing away. All my say, we don't do it to give it away.
Thank you for listening to the Twenties Tribe Radio. Welcome to the Twenties Tribe Radio. We're here to stay. It's going to be an amazing time. We're going to have fun. There's going to be more teaching, more lectures. Twenties Tribe is a community for people in their twenties. We're there to help people thrive. We're here to help people succeed in whatever ways that they want to. Look forward to more classes coming on. Yeah. The twenties to the world. Come on, 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 come on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Dinner. Oh yeah. DJ Feezy on the beat.
Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like.
Yeah, yeah,
Chap in the
yeah,
bando,
yeah.
I don't wanna look like you.
Yeah,
Chap
yeah,
in the
yeah,
bando, I
yeah,
don't wanna
yeah, 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 yeah.
look like you. I don't wanna look like you. Look like you. Chap in the bando,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
wanna
look
look
like it.
like.
Oh, yeah.
Chap in the bando,
All right,
I don't wanna
guys.
look like
It's
you.
gonna be. Yeah,
In the bando,
yeah,
look like
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
India to Brazil, you know the girls they love my flow. And if you want to spend my time, come join body and let's go.
Yeah, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Come on, we can go and bring it up. Why? Hey, Jago, play control, Jago.